Hey everyone, welcome back to the Art of Save Scumming. Thank you for tuning in. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of a backtrack. We're going to be talking about the Masters of Innovation headed up by Malakai Makaisson himself. I'm a huge fan of the Gotrek and Felix books. I've read them all. And when they integrated him into this game, I was like, wow, that was a really, really good move. And not only on the lore side of things, he has a lot of stuff to do in his campaign, and he's immensely fun. But on top of all of that, he's a very, very challenging campaign. And the question that we're going to be talking about here today is, well, it was hard before. After implementation of Omens of Destruction, did it get better or worse? And the short answer today is that it got way harder. So if you haven't played Malakai since the implementation of Omens of Destruction, then I highly suggest that you do. But to understand why, I'm going to first lay out sort of how a campaign should sort of look when it comes to Malakai. You're going to be fighting a multi-front defensive war. You start out with Crack a Drac, and you're pretty much shoehorned into completing the province, which is this one and this one. But then right away, you're basically right on the doorstep of the Skaven that are rampaging through northern Kislev. So it's in your best interest to take out the Skaven as fast as possible. In fact, I make a beeline for Hell Pit right away to take all that out, cut the legs out from underneath of them, and then that allows me to move throughout the rest. Well, moving here then opens you up to a whole bunch of other problems, namely Azazel. And once you start fighting Azazel, you're going to basically fight all of Norsca. Once you fight all of Norsca, you're going to be deployed on two fronts, which is going to be all of this crap over here, and then all of this crap over here that's going to be coming from Throg, the minor factions, and then Wulfric, after he consolidates a whole bunch of territory, is going to be basically wave attacking you in this area. So you end up with a situation where you got to afford a whole bunch of armies, and you can't do it unless you've got territory. So basically right away, before you even think about fighting Azazel, you basically have to steal all of Castalton's territory. So what I end up doing is I take this 4-settlement province and Eringrad, and that is my southern border for like 40 turns. That is going to open you up to one of the new characters that has been added to the game, which is Golg Maneater, who has a camp right here and is going to rampage through northern empire, and you may very well end up fighting him voluntarily or non-voluntarily. I ended up declaring war on him because I found a good opportunity to take him out quickly with only a couple settlements. That's how I ended up with all of this stuff here. But know that a new legendary lord, if there wasn't enough things to deal with already with, again, Throg, minor factions, Wulfric, Azazel, you've got Epidemius over here. You got the Demon Prince over there. You've got Archaon over there. Malice Darkblade over there. So you end up having to get a whole bunch of territory to afford all of that. And that basically draws you into a war and deploys you all throughout Norsca to be able to take out those factions that are just going to continuously attack you. So it's a cycle of take some ground, consolidate the province, probably peace out because you got another pressing conflict. And that is the other part that I wanted to bring up. While dealing with Golg down here is optional in most respects, and probably not even something that you must do, what you will have to deal with is Arbaal the Undefeated. So before in this region, on this side, when we're talking about our empire, basically you've got Hell Pit, Fort Ostrock, and Sidratican right here, and those ones form this nice line that is your eastern border, and you basically sit there and defend these territories for a long period of time. Let Katerin take all this, and then you can get it off of her later. In fact, there's a fun exploit that you can use with Frozen Landing and Temper Heimikal here, where you can basically unlimitedly extort money from her. That's really fun.
This shall suffice. My people are... All kissed.
But you end up with another defensive front on this side, and you got to pick one of these and consolidate it, because you're going to have a big problem. Because not only do you have the Chaos Dwarfs that are going to come up through here, not only do you have Archaon that's going to come down here, but now you've got Arbaal the Undefeated. And whereas when we're talking about Golg Maneater down here, he's an ogre, and most of the ogre units are large. They've built everything on monstrous infantry. Yes, they have some Noblars and things like that, but all of the units that you field are basically good against ogres. And that's because all of those units suffer from the large designation. When we're talking about Arbaal the Undefeated, that has replaced the Skaven Lord that's in this region, that was kind of a pushover, and you had sort of this minor Norscan faction here too, who's still there, but these were not really concerns. You basically had to play around over here until Archaon came down, then you would have to deal with him. Now you're dealing like turn 15, turn 20 with 3 or 4 stacks of corn, and everything that corn fields is good against you, because they got lots of armor, they've got lots of mass, very few large units, and one of the large units that's actually very dangerous to you are their chariots, because you're going to be very infantry based. You're not going to have a whole lot of stuff to move around a whole lot, except for some of the gyrocopters that you're going to get, and those chariots can punch through your line and get in the back and disrupt all of the high damage dealing missile units. So dealing with Arbaal is going to be one of your major foci. That's the word today, is foci. If you're caught fighting all of these wars all at once offensively, you are going to get shellacked once Archaon is able to finally come down and deal with you, because you're basically, most of your empire here, if you look at the northern border, this is all coastline. They could land anywhere right along here. If you've got an army sitting here, they'll just not bother attacking this minor settlement. They'll just come right in here. And then after a turn, if you haven't built up enough forces in the area, they're just going to steamroll whatever you've got there, because you can probably only afford some Quarrelers, maybe a couple Thunderers, and a whole bunch of Dwarf Warriors. So you're not going to have a whole bunch of extra characters to deal with what they've got coming in. This campaign is quite possibly one of the hardest campaigns in Total War Warhammer 3 right now, and I absolutely freaking love it. I highly suggest that you come back to it, check it out, see the dynamics that have been added to it with the new characters, and I think that you'll have a great time. Thanks for tuning into the Art of Scumming. Hopefully we'll see another one here pretty soon.